Hello, it is I, Alex Ortiz, coming at you live from my house. Yeah, it's just me this week. Clinton is away, and for whatever reason, put me in charge. So welcome to my live stream. We got a little something special lined up for y'all this week. It is starring me. We then have a special guest, or we're featuring Mitchell Bonner for our game, and we will be having a guest appearance by Gary White for this Collision Live Good Edition. Yeah. So let's see here. Let me get started with our YouTube video of the week.
Leviticus 19:26, do not eat any meat with the blood still in it. Do not practice divination or sorcery. Yeah, legit. God, I pray for Braxton. I pray that you would help him not to be so mean all the time. God, that you would slap him across the face and teach him how to be nice. Amen. I'm a youth pastor, and I like to youth pastor people all the time. WebMD.com. Alright, let's see here. Womb transplant. Yep, that's me. Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. I don't want to help you all, they are weak, but he is strong. Yes, Jesus loves me. Yeah, Leviticus 19:27. Do not trim off the hair on your temples or trim your beards. Yeah. Do not eat any meat with the blood still in it. Do not practice divination or sorcery. Oh God, you would help me not to practice divination and sorcery because it's bad. God, I pray that you would just not help me to make magic spells, and they're just horrible and terrible. Just do awesome things. Oh, son of a biscuit! Ah! I like being the youth pastor, except for Jacob Dumas. Yeah. Yeah. Whoa! This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. And this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. And a bunch of other dumbass!
Hey, Clinton.
What's up?
You got some spiritual stuff.
Yeah, sure, man. Come on in. What's up? What's going on?
The passage about Leviticus you told me.
Gee golly, Jacob.
Hey Clinton, do you like blue cheese?
Ooh, I've never really thought about that.
Well, because I have like a gallon of it home.
Oh, Mother Mary and three wise men and shepherds. Holy prophet of God. I hate this job. I hate it.
Alright, and welcome back. Hope you all enjoyed that video. I'm going to attempt to add Mitchell to this call. It's not showing up. That is not good. Yeah. Mitchell will be doing our game if I can somehow manage to add him to the call. Nope, that's not it. Okay, I assure you I had this set up right beforehand. Hold on, everyone. Please pause for some technical difficulties. Okay, hold on. I'm going to have to end this call with you, Mitchell. I can't even hear y'all. Okay. Okay. Now let me try and call in Mitchell. Hello? Let me try again. Because the option is still not...
Tell a joke.
Why did the chicken cross the road? Oh, there we go. Hello, Mitchell.
here?
Yeah, you're here.
Hello. What's up? You ready to play a game?
Yeah, I guess so.
Incredible graphics
Incredible graphics.
that we both worked on.
Oh, yes, of course.
Let me share with you my screen,
Okay.
and we'll get started.
All right, epic.
I gotta pull up the chat so I can see answers. This is very new to me. Okay.
Hold on. Okay, and then now add that.
So everyone can see it?
Yep, and now I'm removing us. Alrighty, take it away, Mitchell.
All right. Alex, I want you to be part of this too.
Oh, okay.
This game is that quote real or fake? As you can see, we have an incredible, beautiful green pasture behind it. Image having technical difficulties. I don't know what Daphne just said. All right, so we're going to put quotes up on the screen, and you're going to say if it's real or fake.
Me or the comments?
What?
Huh?
What'd you say?
Who?
All right. Well, hopefully this is working right now. All right, great. First quote, the only thing worse than yellow snow is green snow. Bob Ross. Did he actually say that? I don't know.
I don't know.
There's a 15-second delay, which is really weird, and Clinton has gotten good at filling it. Well,
yeah.
As good as he can get. I'm really glad you're taking over, Alex. You're going to do great things with this program.
Thank you. Yeah, Clem got fired, but I don't know, this quote, I'm going to say it's real. That is
You're going to say it's real?
my theory, yeah.
Okay. All right, Stormy's saying real. Alex says real, even though he already told it to me just now, so that was completely pointless for him to type it.
Whoa.
Olivia's saying fake. Addie's saying fake. Okay. Fake for sure. The Cole fam, real.
For
Daphne,
sure.
real. I don't know who else is on the call or on the chat. Wait a little bit longer. I'm pretty sure someone else said that. That's Maddie, right? Trish is Maddie?
Yes, that is Maddie.
James says real. Clinton's saying real.
Whoa.
I'm going to wait a few seconds more, see if there's any other answers. It's a pretty good quote, and if it's real, it's not expected from Bob Ross. Just keeping up appearances, yeah. All right, well. Wait, is it actually?
Yeah, it's me.
Gosh. I forgot you're literally on his account. Of course. All right. This quote is real.
Let's
congrats
go.
to everyone who said it was real. Everyone who said it was fake. Hopefully you succeed in the next one. Otherwise, that's going to be really embarrassing. All right. This is Gary White, our special guest. We have a quote from him. We have been the church gathered We have been the church gathered, and Christ is sending us out to be the church scattered. Did Gary White say this? Your own pastor. If you get this wrong, I don't even know how you're going to recover from that.
No, I think I'm gonna say yes to this one too, Mitchell. I mean, he basically says it every week at church.
Does he?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Unless are you telling me he didn't?
Addie's saying real for sure, yes. Olivia's saying real. Stormy's saying fake.
Whoa.
She said fake twice.
Stormy, why do you think it's
Olivia's saying
fake?
real.
What's causing that?
Someone else made it up, but yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough,
Makes
Maddie.
sense.
He says now instead of and. Oh.
Oh.
Oh, Stormy.
Okay, Stormy going on a
That's-
technicality. All right.
That's an interesting take. We'll see if any other answers come in. Addie is laughing at Stormy, saying Stormy LOL. She just is relentless. All right. Well, now I'm going to tell you that it is fake. Stormy was right.
Oh.
He says, we have been the church gathered, and now Christ is sending us out to be the church scattered. He doesn't just say, and Christ.
Nor does he say now Christ. So Stormy was right, but also wrong at the same time.
Yeah, so he says it. We went back and watched the tapes. He says now. So I bet you wish you'd pay more attention on Sunday mornings. I'm honored to be in the same game as Bones. Yeah, unsure how I feel about being on after Yellow Snow. Well, I hope you can live in that tension, Gary. But it's a beautiful one.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we have a Thomas Jefferson quote. Allegedly, you can tell me if it is or not. The present is theirs. The future, for which I really worked, is mine. I don't know. Sounds pretty Thomas Jefferson-y. Sounds very old school language-y. 50-50.
I'm gonna say it's definitely real.
You're gonna say it's real?
Mm-hmm.
All right. How many? So you said the Gary one was real. So that was wrong.
Yeah, I think the Bob Ross one was real.
Okay. So you're 1-1 right now.
1-1, yeah.
That's good.
Let me see if I can bring up the chat
James
so I can.
is fake.
James
This
says
is real. I don't know. We're not keeping track of points, by the way. I know.
Yeah.
I can't afford to buy you guys candy, so we're just gonna. You'll just know if you did well, and then you can give yourself a pat on the back and feel better about yourself for the week until Clinton comes to ruin your feelings next week with next week's game. Gary's quoting Abraham Lincoln and saying, "Do not believe everything you read on the interwebs." And I'm reading it on a YouTube chat, so I think that means it's a real quote, right?
Yeah. Well, unless you
think
consider
we can do
YouTube
that.
part of the interwebs.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the first part of the Gettysburg Address.
Yeah.
He says, 7 years ago, do not believe everything you read in the interwebs. Okay, Stormy says real. Orion says fake. Maddie's saying it's pretty sure it's real.
Pretty sure. Not for sure, but
Addie's telling Stormy that she's got it. I don't know if Addie's answered yet, but that's okay because she's encouraging people.
Addie's hiding
Go
behind
ahead.
us.
Yeah, this is fake.
Oh.
Actually, it was Nikola Tesla who said this, which I can't really fault you guys on if you got it wrong because these are both really old, smart people. So, at some point they start sounding the exact same. That's just how it goes.
Old smart people.
Old, smart people. Speaking of old, smart people, we have a quote from Betty White.
Ooh, Betty
Facebook
White.
Facebook just sounds like a drag. In my day, seeing pictures of people's vacations was considered a punishment. Did Betty White say this?
I'm gonna say it's real.
How old is Betty White?
Um,
I'm gonna Google it.
pretty old. Probably around the same age as the Queen of England.
She is 98.
98, dang.
Wow.
They're both just gonna live forever.
Queen Elizabeth's only 94.
Oh, she is? Oh.
Oh, Addie, did you say it was real, the last one? My bad, I didn't see it.
Go Addie.
Betty spitting the facts right there. Olivia's saying fake. Addie is saying fake for sure. 100% sure.
Stormy misses
Miss me some
MySpace.
MySpace.
I've got to agree with her on that one.
I don't have a Facebook. Well, that's not true. When Candy Crush came out, if you wanted to get certain things, you had to have a Facebook. So I made a Facebook under my middle name, and that's the only Facebook I have.
Ah. Oh, Daphne coming out here saying, Alex, I sounded a little too excited when you said Betty White. I am not gonna lie to y'all. Kind of a Betty White fan.
Gary said, young people today really need to start thinking about the kind of world we're going to leave behind for Betty White. Oh,
True
man.
words, true words.
Say that for the sermon, Gary. That'll preach. I'm telling you what. Cole fam saying real. Olivia says fake. Maddie says it's real. This is a real quote. Betty White actually said that. She actually thinks Facebook's a drag.
Oh, mind blown.
So do with that what you will. Next, we have a quote from Martin Luther King Jr. Lightning makes no sound until it strikes. Is it real or is it fake? I don't know. What do you think, Alex?
I don't know. Is it like, did he have to be the one who originally said the quote, or could he have like said it at one point in his life?
You know, that's a question that is too complicated for my rudimentary dumb quote game. So
Okay.
just know that I don't know.
So I'm gonna go with it's real.
Okay, great. Thanks for saving me there.
Yeah.
James says it's real. Addie says fake for sure.
Oh, everyone's
Ryan
going
is saying
fake.
Okay. Olivia's saying real.
I'm pretty sure, like that one speech he gave in front of the White House or like the Washington Monument, whichever one it was. I'm pretty sure he said
I
it.
have a dream speech.
Yeah, the I have a dream
It
speech.
makes sense, right?
Yeah, he's
You
like,
can-
I
you
have
can
a
relate
dream,
this
and
to
lightning
movement.
makes no.
Lightning makes no sound until it strikes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I said. Olivia says real. I don't know if I said that already.
Let's go,
We need
Olivia.
more answers. Joe says yes. Oh, does that mean the other brothers say no?
Well, Cole fam went real and then no, and then Joe says yes. So maybe.
Oh, you're right. Cole fam says okay. Yeah. So we'll see if Joe is better than the other brothers. Maddie's saying yes. My teacher made me memorize the story of MLK every year.
Oh,
Does
wow.
that mean you memorized
Every quote?
everything he said? Because that's really impressive.
And
If that's true. All right. This is real.
let's
So,
go.
Maddie, I guess you really did learn the story of MLK every year. And also, Joe, that means you beat your brothers. So congrats on that. That's
Joe's
always
the
a win.
superior one.
This stock photo shows people that are really happy for you. And Alex and I are really happy for you too.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If you are experiencing problems with your Cuisinart product, we suggest that you call our customer service center at 1-800-726-0190 before returning the product for servicing. Kanye West. Did he say it?
I'm gonna go ahead and just say yes.
It sounds like something Kanye would say.
Oh yeah. And actually, not to spoil it for anyone, but I'm pretty sure he said this in his Oscar-winning speech.
His Oscar-winning speech?
Yeah. Just after talking about his daughter.
He was what? Talking about his daughter?
Yeah, he talked about his daughter, and he was like, if you're experiencing problems. I don't know. I saw an article about it. Yeah.
Like advice before his daughter grew up.
Yeah, something like that.
Gotcha. All right. The Cole fam says Joe's the history geek. Oh, okay. So that's how we knew MLK. Maddie's saying Kanye for president. No comment there. But Stormy's saying obviously it's real. Yeah, fair enough. Olivia's saying it's real. Cole fam is saying it's real. Maddie is once again saying let's go Kanye.
I think Maddie's a Kanye fan.
Are you old enough to vote, Maddie? Because I don't know, but I understand the campaigning aspect of it, so you do you. Alex, you should call that number.
Call that number right now?
No, we don't want to waste their time.
No. I got this.
Don't call. Daphne said he's the reason I got my Cuisinart. Man, Kanye's helping people out. Addie saying, it's got to be real, obviously.
You got some true
Stormy
fans.
said, name one song by Kanye, Maddie. Oh, Alex.
Yeah.
That's why I told you not to call it. You're calling me.
Oh, I'm calling you?
I didn't tell you that I worked for Cuisinart.
Oh.
All right. This quote, of course it's real. Kanye definitely said this. Just kidding. Obviously, it's fake.
No.
Alex and I, yeah, I know. I'm so sorry. Alex and I were calling back to when we had that really dumb Kanye West Cuisinart CRC electric rice cookers bit, like 2 months ago.
Yeah, at the start of all this.
Yeah. So Kanye for president. Next quote: Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi. If you tell a big enough lie and tell it frequently enough, it will be believed. Wow, that's something to think about.
I don't really think of Gandhi as much of a liar, but I mean, maybe he's right. Or maybe he did say it.
Maybe he's condemning lies, or maybe he's
Oh.
promoting them. I don't know. Or did he even say it?
Did he lie to the people to get them to be peaceful?
And is that a good reason to lie?
Exactly.
Does that make the lie ethical? Is this quote a lie? Is this a lie is this a quote? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy because you tell the lie about it. You tell the lie of the quote, but then it comes widespread and people believe it. So now the quote's true.
Oh my gosh. So does that mean reality in and of itself is just nothing but one big lie?
Yeah, pretty much. Stormy says it's real. Cole fam saying it's real. Maddie's saying yes. Quote, that true.
Isn't that true?
Olivia's saying fake. Okay, now Maddie has gone from yes, that true to maybe, and then to I don't know. So we've really had a regress in confidence there, but
It might have been with our reality questioning comment.
we really messed her up when we talked about the fabric of reality. Addie said it's true.
Stormy
said,
oh, you say it.
Maddie does it all the time about having friends. Oh, lie. Wow, that is really mean. You're an awful person,
Wait,
Stormy.
she lies about having friends, or she says she does have friends, then says perhaps, and then I don't know. I'm confused.
I think she's saying she lies about having friends and then people believe her.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to say I'm glad Stormy's on youth council so she can
Bring
grow
others down.
Yeah, so she can.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, that's true because youth council just tears people down, so it's a good avenue for her.
Yeah.
Maddie is now Maddie's saying yep, but I don't know if that's yep to Stormy, what Stormy said, or yep to the quote. I'm just really lost. Olivia's saying real. This quote is fake,
Whoa.
and actually, this is an Adolf Hitler quote.
Whoa.
So definitely not Gandhi. All right, next. Jessica Simpson. Is this chicken, what I have, or is this fish? I know it's tuna, but it says chicken of the sea.
I've definitely never seen this in my life before. Like chicken of the sea?
I guess it's a tuna brand. I don't. Some of you in the chat might not even know who Jessica Simpson is. I'm not even completely sure. That's a little before my time. I know was she a singer or an actress or both?
Oh, chicken of the sea. It is a brand.
Oh, okay.
It's the one with the little
So
mermaid on it.
Is this chicken what I have, or is this fish? I know it's tuna, but it says chicken of the sea. Oh, Maddie said that she has left the chat, and I understand after her sister brutally tore her down. Stormy's
saying fake question mark, so...
Addie said Stormy's nice. Okay. Stormy's saying fake. Maddie's saying real. Olivia's saying fake. Daphne's saying real. Maddie is once again saying it's right. She's confident this time. Addie is saying fake. Cole Fam is saying real. Yes. Alex is saying real. I don't know what he's doing in the chat. He knows he's not welcome here anymore.
Gosh, Alex.
All right. This quote is real.
Whoa.
Jessica Simpson said that. I watched the video.
Now, who's
she was
Jessica
really confused
Simpson?
about whether it was chicken or fish. What?
Who's Jessica Simpson?
Jessica, that's what I was saying a second ago. She's a little before my time. I think she's like either an actress or a singer, but I know she's known for some pretty silly quotes. Oh, singer and actress. Oh, and fashion designer and author.
Whoa.
So she's basically done it all. All right. George Washington. It is better to live 1 year as a lion than 100 years as a sheep. George Washington. It's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
He was a general before he was the president. And he had to win the American Revolution, so I don't know. Did he say it? What do you think, Alex?
I don't know. Because like before the American Revolution, he was a pretty bad general, but it was the crossing of the Delaware River that really gave him a boost in his confidence and help him make better decisions in the future. So I don't know.
It's almost like you took AP US history.
Definitely not. Took dual credit.
Oh, that's right. You're a dual credit guy. Fair enough.
Teacher had a whole lecture for like a day and a half about how what George Washington was like before the Revolution. And said it was really just a coin flip of whether or not we would win it or not.
Well, as an American, I have to say I'm glad it happened. Although, Cole fam's saying fake. Maddie is saying, I don't know, probably. But I like sheep, so I like sheep too. Olivia's saying fake.
Yeah, Sorby, you got that right.
It's like the 12th president, right?
She's absolutely right with that one.
I think. Yeah. Well, I think actually George was the 16th, and then Lincoln was the first. Because earlier Gary quoted Lincoln. And that was when America was founded. That was when the interwebs came about. So he was like, "Don't trust everything you read on the internet."
Yeah.
And so that's where that. Yeah.
Okay.
Addie's saying fake. Maddie said, "Oh, they are tasty as meat." Big turnaround from the initial "I like sheep." I'm a little put off, but.
Well, I mean, we're all vegans here, so.
Maybe I've had shepherd's pie with lamb in it. I don't know if I've ever really had a sheep before.
I've never had a shepherd make me a pie before, so can't say that I've been in that boat.
Cole Fam is saying George was the first. Here's Joe with that history buff. Yeah, we were just messing around. George.
Wait, but first of what? Like first in line?
What?
No, like George was the first in line for something, or like first.
Alex actually wasn't joking. He actually thinks George was the 16th. Yeah, George was the first. Lincoln was the 16th. Emancipation Proclamation. What a guy. He wrestled before he was president. This is just going to be a history lesson. You can cancel Gary. We'll just do an American history lesson.
Hey, guys, welcome back.
This quote is fake.
Whoa.
It is a it's a Mussolini quote.
Mussolini?
So definitely not George Washington. So, yep. Last quote. Alex actually found this one. I didn't. This was surprising to me, but
I actually did a lot of research for this one.
Alex, I'm going to embarrass myself because I can't read Roman numerals.
Oh, okay.
If life gives you lemons, make some kind of fruity juice. Which pope is this, Alex? That's okay. Wait. Let me try.
Okay.
So I know V is 5. I know X is 10.
Yeah.
I know the ones, but there's something weird about adding and subtracting.
Okay, so.
Wait.
Oh.
I think.
I put this backwards. I now just realized.
Oh, is it XVII?
Well, it's supposed to be XIVI.
XIVI?
Yes.
So that's 13.
No.
Oh my gosh.
That is 15.
Oh, it's 1041. I was thinking something about subtracting the last one. There's some weird rule. I don't know what I'm talking about. Whatever. Maddie's saying I don't like history. Olivia says fake. Addie says this reminds me of a song. Fair enough. It does kind of sound like a song. Mm-hmm. Alex, can you sing it for us?
Actually, I haven't warmed up my vocal cords enough today, so won't be able to.
Oh, okay. No worries. Yeah. I understand. Cole Fam is saying yes, true. Maddie says that's a deep quote. It is a really deep quote. Addie's saying true. Stormy's saying true, like it's a real quote. If life gives you lemons, make some kind of fruity juice. I think that's all the answers we're going to get, maybe?
Yep.
This is fake. And
Whoa.
I think, Alex, you said it was a Conan O'Brien quote?
Yeah, Conan O'Brien quote.
Talk show host?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
One of the best.
That is it. Thanks for playing. Is that quote real or fake? That was fun. We had a moment there.
Yeah, quite enjoyable.
All right, Alex, take it away, man.
Oh, take it.
Do you have a Conan O'Brien
Yeah, I do.
bobblehead?
So did my devotion.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
I need one of those. I want a talk show host collection, like Conan, Jimmy Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel.
Ooh, that would be cool.
Maybe a Stephen Colbert if I'm feeling like I want to step out a little bit.
Yeah.
All right.
Alrighty.
Well, I'll see you.
I have no idea how to do this, so if you could just leave, please.
Okay, I'll just leave.
Bye, Mitchell. Do I minus it? Okay. Well, everyone, that was Mitchell and his game. Yeah. So I hope y'all enjoyed that. Please give him a big round of applause. He did all that hard work. I gave no contribution to it except for my final quote. And yeah. So next we have our lesson with Pastor Gary. So I'm going to go give him a little call. See if he'll pick up. And once he does, hello, Pastor Gary? Are you there? Hello?
Hey,
Hey, Pastor Gary, how are you?
doing good.
It's good.
Doing good. That was entertaining. We
Thanks.
learned history and
Mm-hmm.
Roman numerals and yeah, Jessica Simpson.
Jessica Simpson, yeah. No idea who she was until the show, so.
You've never heard of Jessica Simpson? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm old, so.
I'm uncultured, so.
Mm, mm. Well, you know, Betty White and I did go to school together.
Oh,
So, yeah.
very cool. Alrighty, well, I will pass off the mic to you and let you do your lesson. So I'll just hop off here and.
All right. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope y'all are having an awesome, hot Sunday evening. I don't know about y'all, but I am totally ready for the fall, for sure. Um, I had a chance to sit in last week with you guys as Pastor Clinton was talking about the dynamic of faith and science and whether those two can be reconciled. Can they work together? Are they at odds with each other? Or maybe is there something else kind of in the middle? There's some people that would say, you know, religion only, and that's my rule of life and faith, and that's, you know, basically. That's basically Mitchell's asking if you can get a garage tour. Yes, Mitchell, come on over. So yeah, there's some that say, you know, only what's written in the Bible is what they're really going to put stock into, and then there are other people that say they deal in the realm of things that can be verified and tested using the scientific method. And then I think there's a whole lot of people that are kind of in between. So what do you guys think? I want to see some of your answers on the live chat here. Can faith and science coexist? Can they get along? Can they inform one another? Or are they polar opposites that are always going to be in tension with each other? So where do you guys stand on that? Science, faith, do they work together? Both can work together, Alex says. Maddie's asking if I left my garage. I'm usually banished out here for a number of reasons that we won't go into tonight unless any of you guys know a good therapist. So both, they can get along. Storms and James believe it can work together. Well, let's do this. Let's see what the Bible has to say about it. In Romans chapter 1, Paul is writing obviously to the church in Rome. It was a large and prominent church. It would later grow into basically the most prominent church, really up until this day. So the Roman church is very, very important in the history of Christianity. It's also really interesting and important because Rome was the capital city of the empire, the same empire that crucified Jesus. And so a church has now been planted there. This is going to be probably the last letter that the Apostle Paul writes as he's awaiting his own death at the hands of the Roman authorities. And Romans really kind of represents a really good theological overview of what Christ has done for us. And so Paul begins, obviously, the best place to begin in the beginning, and he talks about how what can be known of God is evident just by looking around us. Let's take a look at Romans 1:18 through 20. This is from the New Revised Standard Version. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and wickedness of those who by their wickedness suppress the truth. So I want to stop right there for just a second. So in the scientific realm, truth is important. Mitchell, I just noticed, commented that there are different kinds of truths. That's a true statement. There are different kinds of truths. There are truths that are verifiable, that are measurable, that can be tested and experimented with, that can be reproduced. But then there are other truths as well. There are truths about who we are and what our values are. And so those might be a little bit different than quantifiable or provable truths. The key is that both science and faith seek truth. We seek truth in different ways. We're going to get into that just a little bit more here in just a second, but I want you to see what Scripture says about this. Paul goes on to say, for what can be known about God is plain to them, is plain to people. What can be known about God is plain to people because God has shown it to them. Ever since the creation of the world, his eternal power and divine nature, invisible though they are, have been understood and seen through the things he has made, so people are without excuse. So what Paul's basically doing here is he's saying, listen, we can take what we can observe out in nature, in the creation, and we can know something about who God is just based on that observation. So Paul's actually making a really, really important argument here that the kind of truth that Christianity is interested in isn't just a spiritual truth, it's an existential truth. It's a truth that deals with our existence. So that's a really, really important claim. And Paul is saying here that, listen, we can know some of this stuff just through observation, just through looking around. Now, when I read this passage, I think of like beautiful places that I like to go. Canyon Lake is one of my favorite places to go. It's a beautiful lake, just this side of New Braunfels. And when I'm there, the sunsets, it just like every day, they're absolutely beautiful and fantastic. And to think that God paints those gorgeous sunsets, it's almost impossible for me to look at what God has created and not believe that God exists. Does that make sense? I don't know if you've ever had an experience like that out in nature, but let me give you kind of a different approach to this, one that might make a little bit more sense. Obviously, we know from science that the world is a complex place. To give you an example, the most basic building block of life is DNA, right? It's an amino acid. It's actually a very diverse, complex set of amino acids and proteins and things like that. The precursor to DNA is called RNA, which is, I believe that's ribonucleic acid. So that's even more basic than DNA is. Carries a little bit of genetic information, things like that. It's also made of amino acids. The simplest form of RNA required for any sort of life has to have 20 different amino acids. That's very complex. In fact, that's so complex that statistically, it's very unlikely that that just happened by itself. And so I think we can look at what God has created and we can see the fingerprints of God in that. We can see its complex nature through that. Here's another way of looking at it too, that deals maybe with a little bit more moral truth, with our values and things of that sort. Nobody here needs to be taught that it's probably not a good idea to bash puppies' heads in. How do we know this? I mean, you don't grow up and, before you get your first dog, mom and dad say, hey, don't take Rover out and bash his head in with a shovel. You just know that. There's something sacred about life. This is ingrained in all of us. This is a moral truth that we have because we're created in the image and likeness of God. And this is something that also separates us by and large from the animal kingdom because they don't know of this. Society tells us, I don't think you need society to have morals. In fact, there's a lot of societies that are completely morally bankrupt. I think it's imprinted on our soul, on who we are. Um, Let me argue it from this perspective. Albert Einstein, which is probably the most famous scientist in the last 400 years, um, he said it would not be difficult to come to an agreement as to what we understand by science. So he's talking about the aims of science. He says science is the century-old endeavor to bring together by means of systematic thought the phenomena of this world. Um, to put it boldly, it's the attempt at the reconstruction of what is by the process of using concepts and models. So basically what he's saying is that the goal of science is to tell us the how. How do plants breathe? How do they take in carbon dioxide and produce oxygen? That's what science desires to do. It desires to answer those kind of questions. But faith asks different questions and seeks different things as well. He says, accordingly, a religious person is devout or faithful in the sense that they have no doubt of the significance and loftiness of the supernatural objects and goals, which neither require nor are capable of rational foundation. What he's saying here is that religion and science can inform one another. In fact, he goes on in this lengthy paper that he wrote. He sums it up by saying, the situation may be, well, first of all, he says, I cannot conceive of a genuine scientist without profound faith. The situation may be expressed by an image. Science without religion is lame, and religion without science is blind. So Einstein, pretty important guy, and he thought that they could actually work together. He thought that they tried to answer two very different things. They were concerned with different types of truth. Science is concerned with understanding the mechanics, how something works, and faith is concerned about the why, the questions of our existence, the questions of our purpose. Religion is concerned, faith is concerned with values and actions, whereas science primarily is considered with figuring out the how and the why. Now, again, going back to our passage from Romans chapter 1, I think when we look at the creation, it can inform us in our faith. I think when we see how amazing God has engineered things. Did you know that if the earth was tilted just a degree off of its axis, life would almost be unsustainable? That's pretty incredible. That's a pretty high degree of engineering that I believe God had a hand in, that God was guiding the entire way. Now, a lot of times people will want to get into discussions about, the Big Bang Theory, creationism, evolution. I'm going to kind of leave that to Pastor Clinton a little bit because there's a whole lot to unpack there, and you probably don't want to listen to me drone on and on and on about it. Here's what I believe. I believe that God ushered everything into existence, that God was the driving force behind that. So even scientists that say that they don't, atheist scientists that say they don't believe in God, admit that there was a beginning to the universe. The universe had a beginning somewhere. The universe is comprised of space and time and matter. Well, that space and time and matter is not eternal. And the reason we know it's not eternal is actually kind of a complicated scientific theory. But one of them is what they call the law of thermodynamics. What that means is that there's only a limited amount of energy available in the universe. And the older the universe gets, the less energy that it has. Because there are things like stars, nebulas, things like that are using that energy. It's just like this. If I were to take my phone and I were to leave it on a streaming service all night long to listen to my music while I go to sleep, and I started it up and it only had, let's say, 40% charge, do you think it would still be cranking music out in the morning by 10 o'clock in the morning? Probably not, right? Because the battery in here only has a certain amount of energy. And if I'm using that energy, obviously there's going to come a point where I use all of that energy. Now, scientists actually have calculated that at some point way off in the future, so don't get freaked out by this, the sun's going to run out of juice. The sun's going to run out of energy. There's only so many hydrogen atoms inside the sun. And it's going to use them all up. That nuclear reaction that takes place that illumines the sun and produces heat is going to be gone at some point. And so because of this, we can look back and say, since there's a finite, very specific amount of energy available in the universe, that the universe had a beginning. And so if the universe has a beginning, I want you to follow me on this because I think this is a really important thing to kind of wrap your mind around. If the universe has a beginning, then it means that the universe is not eternal. So there's good science that suggests the universe, which is space, time, and matter, all had a beginning. Without getting too technical, again, that's called the second law of thermodynamics. That means there's less energy available in the universe today than there was yesterday, and there will be less tomorrow than there is today, and so on and so forth, kind of like a battery. So if we take the logical step that if all space, time, and matter had a beginning, then where did that come from? You can't create something out of nothing. It's impossible. So you had to have something there. And whatever formed space, time, and matter had to be spaceless, timeless, immaterial, which means that it wasn't made up of matter, and powerful. By the way, we have fancy words in theology that describe this force that's spaceless, timeless, immaterial, and powerful. It's omnipotent, omniscient. These words are used to describe the character of God. And so, anyway, I just kind of wanted to go through that little exercise with you to show that I think the two can inform one another. And I think the more we seek to explore the world, the creation, the cosmos that God has created, the more God's going to reveal himself to us. There's some pretty fascinating things, too, with this whole thought pattern that I just kind of broke down for you about, the fact that the universe is degrading. It's getting less and less powerful. Paul actually says this in Romans 8. Let me find it real quick and read it to you because it's pretty cool. In Romans 8, he says, the creation waits with eager longing for the revealing of the children of God. For the creation was subjected to futility, not of its own will, but by the will of the one who subjected it, in hope that the creation itself will be set free from its bondage to decay and will obtain the freedom of the glory of the children of God. So what that means is that the earth itself is, or the created order, the universe, is locked into a state of decay. And that's exactly what science tells us as well. And so I think when it comes to this discussion of faith and science, I think they can inform each other. Now, Mitchell had said something earlier about different types of truth. And there are different types of truth that are true. For instance, Jesus often taught in parable. The lesson of the parable was a truth, even if the characters that he used in the parable were just analogies or metaphors. You can still have truth. Truth and factuality aren't exactly the exact same thing. And so sometimes when we read through the scriptures and there are stories that are in there, especially parables and things like that, we're not contending that those are facts. We're saying that these are object lessons intended to convey a truth. And so there are some times where, some folks want to read Genesis 1 and Genesis 2 very, very literally. And if that's your thing, that's totally cool. There are people that call themselves young earth creationists. They believe that the earth has only been around for about 5,000 years because if you add up all the generations in the Bible, that's about the number that you get to. And if that's your thing, that's totally cool. I don't want to discourage you in that at all. Think on it. Look at the evidence and pray over it. If you take Genesis 1 and 2 to be stories that convey the spiritual truth, the moral truth, that God was the one who ushered this into existence as the timeless, spaceless, immaterial, and powerful force from which all of these things came, space, time, and matter. That's cool too. These are things that I think it's okay to wrestle with. So here's what I want to say. I want to close out with this story. It's one of my favorite stories in the Bible. And it doesn't have anything to do with science because I've probably freaked you all out with the whole science thing. My favorite story in the Bible is the story of Jacob. Jacob he's a rat. He's a snake. He's not a very good dude. Jacob was born second. He was twins. His older brother that was born just before him was Esau. And actually, in the story in Genesis, it says that Jacob came out of his mother's womb literally with his hand on Esau's ankle, like they were fighting to see which one would be born first. And so he was given the name Jacob, Yakub in Hebrew, which means supplanter or trickster or manipulator, really, in a lot of ways. And he kind of lived that out throughout his life. At one point, his brother came in and was literally starving to death because his brother had been out hunting all day long. And Jacob says, well, I've got this real nice bowl of stew for you. Why don't I trade that for your inheritance? Because back in those days, the firstborn pretty much got everything. And if you were the baby of the family, you kind of got hosed. And so Esau was so hungry and so weak that he said yes. And so he traded his inheritance for this bowl of stew. Still later on, when Jacob and Esau's father Isaac was very old and his sight had left him, he was blind. It was a tradition before the elder of the family passed away, before the father of the family passed away, to give a blessing over his oldest son. And Jacob ends up tricking his father Isaac into thinking that he was Esau. Esau, the name in Hebrew actually means like hairy. So I don't know if he looked like a Wookiee or something like that, but apparently he had real thick hair on his arms. And what Jacob does to trick his father is he takes goat skins with the hide on it, and his dad's feeling his arms, and he feels the hair on his arms and believes that it's Esau, so on and so forth. And so Jacob ends up stealing not only his brother's birthright, his brother's inheritance, but also his blessing, and realizes that his brother's going to be really hot about this. And so he ends up taking off and going to a completely different country. And he spends quite a bit of time there, and he ends up getting married and beginning to start a family of his own. And he ends up cheating his father-in-law out of pretty much everything that he had, and had no other place to go but back to his homeland, where in the meantime, his brother had started a large family and was kind of the head of their tribe, and he'd become a powerful nation in his own right. And so the night before Jacob gets ready to cross over the Jordan River to head back to confront his brother, who he has every good reason to think is still absolutely madder than tarnation at him, Jacob actually does something really weaselly. He sends all of his family and all of his livestock across the river first, almost so that if his brother's going to be vengeful, he could take it out on them and rather than him. And so later on that night, as he's there by himself, getting ready to face whatever the future may hold for him, he wrestles with God. He wrestles with God. And as a result of that wrestling with God, he's left with a limp. It took his hip out of socket, and he was left with a limp for the rest of his life. And his name was changed from Jacob, Yakub, trickster, leg puller, supplanter, charlatan. His name was changed from that to Israel. I love that story because it's a good reminder to me that one of the most faithful things that we can do as God's people, and Jacob's descendants became the nation of Israel. And I think that's fitting that they took that as their national identity, that we're the people that wrestle with God. We're the people that wrestle with what does it mean to be God's people? What does it mean to understand the scriptures? What does it mean to live the scriptures out? What does it mean to love God and love neighbor? And maybe in some cases, what does it mean to look at science and faith and wrestle with those things? And so I want to give you permission to do that. That's, I think, one of the most faithful things that you can do. After all, an entire nation named themselves after this man who wrestles with God. In fact, that's what Yisrael means. It means wrestles with God or strives with God, struggles with God. And so it's okay to ask the tough questions. I think that's one of the most faithful things that you can do. So tell you what, I'm going to offer a prayer of blessing over you, and then I'm going to turn it back over to Alex. So let's pray together. God, we thank you for who you are. We thank you that you have engineered such a fantastic creation, the fabric of which we are only just now beginning to explore. I pray, Lord, that for each of us in our journey through school and our journey through learning and education, that we would gain a bigger picture of you, that we would gain a bigger picture of reality, Help us, Lord, to understand past the things that we can just see and perceive. And Lord, I pray that the things that we see and perceive and study would inform and encourage our faith in you. And so, God, help us to be faithful. Increase our faith and increase our knowledge as we study all that you have created. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. So actually, Alex, before I turn it over to you,
Yeah.
did anybody get lost in that, or anybody have any questions? I think everyone's left, Alex.
We still have 10 watching.
All right. Well, I hope it didn't nerd y'all out. But if you have any specific questions about anything that I said, or just a question that you're wrestling with and that you maybe want some clarification on, I'd be happy to do that here in the next couple minutes.
All right, we got a few people messaging no.
All right, cool.
All right, well,
I'll hand it back over to you, Alex.
Thank you, Pastor Gary. Well, y'all, I do. Oh, let me get this. Okay. Well, y'all, I do hope that you enjoyed this very special and different episode of Collision Live. Yeah, so just last thing I have to do is just do some announcements, and which is Normal Collision will resume next week. Aside from that, we don't really got much else planned. I guess for most of us though, school does start up the following week. So yeah, so enjoy this last week of freedom of schoolless time. Not having to worry about schoolwork and all that, and just enjoy this. And we'll be praying that y'all have a good start of the school year. And yeah, all right, see y'all.